tracks, stats, and facts. www.enterthedome.com.
Good people, what's going on? Welcome to episode 17, the Dome Podcast. I appreciate the support so far. Happy Sunday evening, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the weekend. Well, weekend is almost up, so we need to go ahead and get this out the way. Another episode, man. So, again, we're having a good time. Excuse me. And we're doing a little versus series as well within artists, just to have fun, little conversation purpose and things of that nature. So today we're going to talk about Stillmatic versus It Was Written, two landmark albums in Nas' discography, two albums that get a lot of conversation and a lot of different perspectives in regard to these two albums, because some feel they are two of Nas' best records. I've heard people say It Was Written is Nas' greatest album. You know, my feelings on It Was Written. I love It Was Written. I loved it in 1996, and we'll get into some of that. I do also love Stillmatic. I might not have it as high at times on Nas' greatest list of albums, but it is a classic impact album. I've heard some people say that Stillmatic is Nas' best album. You know what I mean? So I've heard people say Illmatic is his best, Stillmatic is his best, and It Was Written is his best. Of course, you guys saw the episode with Godson versus Life Is Good. You see where I hold those two albums high esteem. I love both of those albums. I really love Life Is Good, and feel like Life Is Good can be compared to a lot of albums. We'll get back a lot of albums in Nas' discography, but we'll get back to that part at the end of this episode. So let's look at Illmatic follow-up. It Was Written and Stillmatic in regard to which album is the greatest. How do they match up against each other? Track for track is how I like to do it. I like to go track for track and just discuss both projects in their totality. You know what I'm saying? Now, It Was Written coming off Illmatic. Of course, you guys know that I've talked before on Twitter about a lot of people feel like, oh, it didn't have Pete Rock and Lost Professor, LES, you know, and you know things, Q-Tip. So it wasn't grungy enough. It wasn't grimy enough. It didn't have that boom bap New York feel of Illmatic. And like I've said before, artists grow. Nas was in a zone lyrically on It Was Written. The Trackmaster did a great job on the production. Primo did I Gave You Power, which is arguably one of Nas' top 5 songs. It is one of the most creative songs to me in rap history. Yes, we know that Organized Confusion had Straight Bullet first, which is a classic album, and it followed A Bullet, Causing Havoc, saying what Nas is just talking about a gun. And then Tupac, who we've talked about this before, Tupac, as told by Napoleon and some of the outlaws, his own friend said that summer 96, Tupac was studying It Was Written, listening to It Was Written. Okay, so we know that he got Me and My Girlfriend off I Gave You Power. This is not a secret in hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? So nevertheless, the Trackmaster did a great job. Primo did a great job. Havoc did track, like I think 2 tracks on It Was Written. It banged out. And I believe that, and we've talked about this before, if you saw the track listing of It Was Written and it had RZA, Pete Rock, Q-Tip, et cetera, a lot of boom bap kids would have received It Was Written a lot different. Nevertheless, a lot of people think it's 5 mics. I think it's a classic. I think it held up great in 1996, which episode 1, we talk about the hip-hop war in 1996, and 1996 is also one of the deepest years in rap history. Go Google is your friend. Go Google hip-hop 1996, and you'll see a tremendous list of amazing albums. And It Was Written was one of those albums that came out that summer in July. You know what I'm saying? So It Was Written was huge. Nas had came off taking the L at the 1995 Source Awards. Illmatic was barely gold, if I'm not mistaken. It didn't go platinum until like 2001. So Nas was still hanging out in Queensbridge. You can go back and listen to the song The Rise and Fall. For anyone who hasn't heard it, Nas has a song called The Rise and Fall, and he talks about his entire career. He also has a song called Surviving the Times. You can listen to that as well, and you can get everything that I'm saying. I've known this, and a lot of Nas fans have known this for 20 years, almost. So it's nothing new. Nevertheless, Biggie won every award in the 95 Source Awards. Nas is sitting there basically with borrowed clothes and no money. You also saw on Nas' documentary him still hanging out in Queensbridge early 1996. So Nas was still kind of in the streets. After you guys said that he was the next Rakim and all this Illmatic stuff, yeah, critically acclaimed, yes, but Nas was still hanging in the projects. Steve Stout saw Nas' full talent and said, well, this guy, he looks the part, he has the voice, he has the style. We're going to make this guy a star. You know what I'm saying? And that's what It Was Written did. You know what I'm saying? It made Nas a star. It put Nas on the trajectory that he's on right now, where he should be. You know what I'm saying? That happened when It Was Written. It's not going to happen if he's Illmatic Part 2. You know what I'm saying? If Illmatic Part, if It Was Written, it sounds like Enter the Stage, The Shining, you know what I'm saying? Or Wrath of the Math, or some hard New York OC Word Life or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Then you might not get the Nas you get now, who is still dropping dope music in 2022. You know what I'm saying? Or 2021 when Magic came out in December. But nevertheless, that's how powerful It Was Written was for his career. It made him a star. It made Biggie recognize and who you thought kicking the door was for. You know what I'm saying? On Life After Death, you know what I'm saying? He taking shots at Nas, you know what I'm saying? And, Tupac Machiavelli, Nas, the alleged ringleader. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff happens because, Nas is right there with them in 1996 with Biggie and Tupac, as far as like this upper echelon MCs. And of course, there's a bunch of other amazing Redman, everyone else, Wu-Tang, whoever. But I'm just talking about people Universal looking at, Biggie, Nas, and Pac at that time in 1996. Jay hasn't hit that level yet. There's another discussion for another day. Stillmatic comes at another pivotal point in Nas' career. It comes up after Nostradamus. Everyone knows that Nostradamus at the time was not well received by core Nas fans, even though I Am came out early 1999, got 4.5 mics in the Source, went like double platinum, had Hate Me Now, you know what I'm saying, had all these other big songs on it, and had We Will Survive on it, the song where, he kind of took a shot at Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying, in the Biggie and Tupac tribute song, We Will Survive. We know how large it was. Nas's Life is on there. Nas's Like is on there. Undying Love is on there. You know what I'm saying? So we know how big I Am was. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny that you get some of this I Am hate now. When I Am came out, people loved I Am. See, people might not liked like 2 songs on there at the time. You know what I'm saying? But people loved I Am. It was critically acclaimed and it was commercial success. You know what I'm saying? Now, Nostradamus, this is during a time where Napster, Nas is the first famous MC to be leaked in terms of file sharing. So Nostradamus tracks and stuff like that was leaked. And this ended up being the Lost Tapes. Now, look how great the Lost Tapes is. It's that great for a reason. Because Nostradamus, I Am Nostradamus, the autobiography, that double CD, at some point that is alleged was going to happen, was going to be a masterpiece. You already seen all the songs now. He went back and after the leak and rushed Nostradamus, which still was released in like November 1999. After like April or something like that, 1999, he goes double platinum when I Am. He releases Nostradamus. He goes platinum in a month. Do the knowledge. So this whole Nas fell off. No, you might not have liked Nostradamus the way you liked It Was Written, Illmatic, and and I Am. But Nostradamus, first of all, had a couple of really good songs on it. It went platinum in a month, people. So when did Nas fall off? Because it wasn't critically acclaimed? Okay, fine. Look at everyone's discography that has 15 albums, and you're going to have 1 or 2 that people don't really like. You know what I'm saying? So this whole fall off is hyperbole, man. You know what I'm saying? It fits that narrative of that Jay-Z battle of 1 hot album every 10-year average. No, when we heard Nostradamus, we were like, it's not as good as the other ones, but we didn't say Nas' career over with. He had just dropped I Am the same year. We had already heard the Nostradamus bootleg. I showed a picture of it the other day. So when we was like, oh my goodness, man, this dude got leaked, man. You know what I'm saying? So now I don't love Nostradamus, but he got leaked. These joints are hot though. You know what I'm saying? All these leaked tracks are crazy. It's a whole CD full of leaked tracks. I had like 18 songs. And on like 3 of them made Nostradamus. You know what I'm saying? Project Windows made Nostradamus, and that wasn't even the best version. The best version is the one that's on Nostradamus bootleg. You know what I'm saying? So this whole thing, Nas' career was over with. He got leaked. You know what I'm saying? But again, we can talk about that another time. But a pivotal moment, Jay-Z is the king of hip-hop in 2001. Blueprint is the biggest thing. Jay-Z drops on 9/11 and still just goes crazy on the charts. He had the Summer Jam, little jab at Nas and the diss against Prodigy. He's just kind of like running stuff at the time. He drops the Takeover, and everybody like, man, Nas' career is over. They think the Takeover is like the bridge is over. If Nas don't come back from this, maybe he is getting buried. Even Primo and them thought like, man, the Takeover, Nas in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Until he dropped that napalm. We'll get into all of that. So without further ado, you see the track listing up there. Let's do this. I have my screen over here, you guys. Hopefully you guys can see what I have posted on the actual video. I'm not sure how big it is to you. It looks like it's big enough on my end, but I also have my my version. So without further ado, let's talk about these two albums, man. Cheers. Track number 1 on both was the intro. So this is how we have to do this a little different. The intro is not a song on It Was Written. But for Stillmatic intro is an actual song. So we're gonna have to do. We might do some bonus tracks too, if we get to that point. But it's gonna have to be the message versus the Stillmatic intro. Stillmatic intro is probably one of Nas' best intros to an album. The beat sound like I'm coming back for war. It also almost sounds like a victory lap. You know what I'm saying? As far as like for things to come. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Stillmatic intro is one, like I said, one of Nas' probably top 2 or 3 intros. But the message for me, fake thug, no love, you get the slug. You know what I mean? The Sade sample, the bass line. I mean, it's just, again, that's one of Nas' best first tracks to album as well. If not one of the, well, it's not the best one, because I would say that's New York State of Mind. But this is just an awesome matchup. I'm going to give the message a slight edge over the Stillmatic intro, because first of all, Stillmatic intro is a little shorter. I mean, it's great, but the message is just a bigger song, man. So that's kind of the way I would do that one. So I would say that's 1-0 for Nas. It Was Written. So excuse me. So let's looking at track 2. It's gonna be Ether versus Street Dreams. Now I love Street Dreams. Street Dreams is the second single, I believe, on It Was Written. I like the video. Of course, some people didn't like the video, but I liked it with Robert De Niro, kind of the casino kind of vibe or what have you. But Street Dreams is just not going to beat Ether. When some people think Ether is the greatest diss song of all time, we don't have to talk about Ether much. We still use the word in hip hop. So once you make a word legendary in the culture, 9 times out of 10, that word is gonna live forever, and that song is gonna live forever. And this also was a song that you hear a lot of different takes about what Ether did. We know that there's been several people from the Rockefeller camp said that it bothered Jay-Z a lot. People was getting up walking out of studios. People was getting up walking out of clubs when it was played. We know that on Angel Martinez, Jay-Z did sound like he's about to damn cry on there. You know what I'm saying? He was a king at the time, and when you got knocked down like that, I don't think he expected that type of comeback and that type of reaction. Because he still felt like Takeover was better. But Ether caused the more damage. Takeover is technically a better record. Ether caused more damage. Ether made Jay-Z back off to a degree, and well, not necessarily back off, because he came back hard with at some point with Blueprint 2. But when he came with Super Ugly, there was a fast emotional response, which made Nas pretty much win. It made Jay-Z seem like he lost. You know what I'm saying? So yes, Ether is going to win over Street Dreams, even though Street Dreams is dope. I like the sample and everything for Street Dreams, unlike some people. but you're just gonna have to give that one to Stillmatic. We're going down here now to I Gave You Power against Got Yourself a Gun. Now, Got Yourself a Gun was, I want to say, the third single. It was a third single off of Stillmatic, if I'm not mistaken, because let's look and see here. Uh, I think it was no. Yes, it was the second single because the Flyers was the third single, and then of course one might end up being the last single for Stillmatic. So, just another tidbit too. I thought something was interesting during this matchup. It was Written's first single is "If I Rule the World" with Lauryn Hill, and Stillmatic first single is "Rule." You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that because they was stuck into the takeover into Nas freestyle going in Rockefeller that you didn't realize that "Rule" was the first single. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of overlooked. Rule. Everybody want to rule the world is basically what is that Tears for Fears song that Nas sampled for Rule on Stillmatic. It was like I said, it was the first single, and it's kind of got overlooked. It came out like October of 2021. I'm sorry, October of 2001. Excuse me. So yeah, but anyway, I Gave You Power against Got Yourself a Gun. Got Yourself a Gun, taking the Sopranos sample. It was a big comeback song again for Nas. You know what I'm saying? He was talking a lot of trash on there. I think he felt good. He was back in his street element again with Got Yourself a Gun. It was just a big song, you know what I'm saying? And of course, Jay-Z heard that and took that and put part of that on Super Ugly that he did. But Got Yourself a Gun was a big song. Unfortunately, it's matched up against I Gave You Power. And I Gave You Power is, like I said earlier, it's one of the most creative songs in hip hop history. It's one of Nas probably top 5, top 10 songs. You can't beat that song, man. It's an amazing track. And just real quick, it's funny that Nas and Pharoah Monch had so much in common outside of them being from Queens. You know what I'm saying? Organized Confusion had Straight Bullet. Nas had I Gave You Power. Nas had Fetus. Pharoah Monch had and Organized Confusion had Prince Poe too. No disrespect to Prince Poe. Organized Confusion had In Vitro. You know what I'm saying? And then Nas had Undying Love, and Pharoah Monch had Trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Both of them about relationships and ended in some murders. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you haven't heard Trilogy by Pharoah Monch, if you like Undying Love for Nas, then check that out. I just thought I'd throw that little tidbit in there just for conversation purposes. So right now I have it 2-1. It was Written. Now we go down to Smoking and Watch Them Niggas featuring Foxy Brown. Now, Smoking is definitely not one of my favorite songs on Stillmatic. Smoking has kind of a West Coast feel to it to a degree. That's not why I don't like it, because you guys know I love the West Coast. I love the West Coast just as much as I love the South and the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? So it's not no thing like that. It just has that vibe of a West Coast type of song. I just don't like the song per se. I don't love it. Don't love the beat. I don't know. Smoking kind of sounds a little lazy to me in retrospect. You know what I'm saying? But I guess it's a decent song in the midst of a great album. But we're going Smoking against Watch Them Niggas. I actually think Watch Them Niggas is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I liked it when the album first came out. You know what I'm saying? Like it, if to me it fit the album. It went from I Gave You Power to Watch Them Niggas to the next track we'll talk about in a minute. So I felt like it was written, kind of had a thing to it. I felt like it was a story almost. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of people don't look at it was written as a concept album, and I know it's technically not. But if you look at the track listing and you look at the vibe of some of the songs, it kind of flows like a one long story. You know what I'm saying? Well, one story with a bunch of different, like somebody traveling almost. You know what I'm saying? Like it does feel like an adventure. You know what I'm saying? Per se. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Watch Them Niggas over Smoking. Now, the next round, it gets round 5. Like I said, it's kind of thrown off because of the intro. Is You're the Man versus Take It in Blood. Just like that, Life is Good versus God's Son. Certain rounds are just championship heavyweight rounds. Some certain rounds is just Ali and Frazier, and this is definitely one of them, man. Because Take It in Blood is a great hard Nas song. And it's funny because you hear that it was written commercial, but really right now I've done songs called I Gave You Power, Watch Them Niggas, The Message, and Street Dreams, but that's commercial, right? Okay. Nevertheless, Taking in Blood is hard. There's also a Taking in Blood 2001. You know what I'm saying? Because during that time of 2000, 2001, 2002, Nas was releasing a lot of music. You know what I'm saying? Did a lot of joints just kind of came to play on mixtapes and stuff like that. And so Taking in Blood 2001 is dope too. Go check that out. But yeah, Taking in Blood versus You're the Man. You're the Man, produced by Large Professor. So here you go again. You get Large Professor back. He was the real intricate on Illmatic. Of course, we know that he did It Ain't Hard to Tell. We know he did Halftime for Nas for the Zebra soundtrack, and then he did it. You know, they put it on Illmatic. We know that he called him Paul. You know that he helped. He's one of his mentors on the J. Cole song "Let Nas Down" remix. You know, he said Large Professor my mentor. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's given Large Professor props throughout his career as being that person that helped him in the vocal booth and everything. He really kind of mentored Nas. You know what I'm saying? So Extra P, as I like to call him, is back again for You're the Man. Great song. You're the Man versus Taking in Blood. You're the Man also has the Marvin Gaye sample. You guys know that Marvin Gaye is my favorite singer. You know, Marvin Gaye is the GOAT to me. You know what I'm saying? So it does hold a special place. Man, you know what? I'm going to go You're the Man over Taking in Blood. I have a 3-2 now. It was written. So, yeah, I'm going to go with You're the Man over Taking in Blood. This is a hard one for anyone who's going to watch this video. You might have it the other way, and I would not be mad. So, yeah, nevertheless, going on to the next round, round 6. Rewind versus Nas Is Coming. I don't think this one's going to get too much pushback when I say Rewind is just going to win this round. Rewind is one of the most creative songs in hip-hop history. I mean, Nas, we know he told a story backwards. It's reminiscent of that movie Memento. If you've ever seen that movie Memento, you'll get the song. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I had never heard anything like it. When it first came on, I'm like, is he saying the story backwards? Until I got to the end, and it was just definitely, you could actually say Rewind is one of the top 5 most creative rap songs ever. You know what I'm saying? I think that's not even, some might have it number 1. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of the most creative songs. Nas was in a zone right here. The pressure was on also, I believe, after the Nostradamus thing and people just kind of blowing out of proportion. The Jay-Z battle, Nas had heard Blueprint, of course. He had to come back very strong, man. So, Rewind is just like that. Nas Is Coming, I feel like get a lot of unnecessary hate, man. Nas and Dr. Dre had already had a relationship. And, of course, you know that a year later, Dre was intricate on the Firm album with Nas, AZ, Foxy, Nature, and should have been Comega also. We know some things happen. But nevertheless, I thought it was a good song. The hook wasn't that great. That Nas Is Coming hook wasn't the greatest in the world. I think the beat is underrated. I think the beat is fine. It's a West Coast type of beat. I thought it was okay. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely not my favorite song on It Was Written. It's probably, I would say it would rank as the worst song on It Was Written, though. You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't think it's a bad song, I think if you look at the track listing for It Was Written, it's probably the worst song It Was Written. And again, Rewind kills it. So right now I have a 3-piece as far as 3 wins for each CD. Now we have One Mic versus Affirmative Action. Look, Affirmative Action is dope. You know what I'm saying? Affirmative Action remix is dope. That's when I think Nas was also taking shots at Biggie. It's just a great posse cut. It would have fit well on the Firm album. Also, speaking of Firm, they had several unreleased songs that should have made the Firm album. I just had to throw it out there real quick. But this was a great song. But of course, One Mic is a staple in Nas' career. It's a staple song in hip hop. I mean, what is about One Mic? I mean, it speaks for itself. The video was dope. I remember the production for the video. One Mic came out like April 2002. So he was riding high off Stillmatic. He was riding high off the so-called beef with Jay-Z and the Victory. This was his victory lap. One mic was Nas' victory lap for the most part for Stillmatic being successful and for him beating Jay-Z. And so one mic just kind of brought it full circle. Thinking of the firm full circle. But anyway, it brought it full circle. Stillmatic had gotten 5 mics in the source. Now, a lot of other publications gave it like, average to good review, but the source gave 5 mics. I think some of that was because of the Jay-Z battle, and Blueprint got 5 mics. Stillmatic got 4 mics, should have got 4.5 or 5, even in 1996 to me, but that's another whole discussion for another day. Nevertheless, this was Nas' victory lap with 1 mic, and obviously he's going to win that round. So now I have it 4-3 Stillmatic. Album sequencing always matters as well when it comes to these matchups and things of that nature. Second Childhood now will go up against the Setup. Look, the Setup, another one of those, again, songs that is on It Was Written that, we thought It Was Written was commercial. No, the Setup was produced by Havoc, right? And Havoc had his rhyming on it. The Setup is a hard song. It's one of my favorite songs on It Was Written. I think the Setup is top 5 song on It Was Written. It's going up against Second Childhood. This is a tough one. Second Childhood produced by Primo. Oh my goodness, man. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think as far as like the better song between the Setup and Second Childhood? Second Childhood is deep though. You know what I'm saying? Each verse is, because you think about certain adults that we know in our personal lives. You're like, damn, so-and-so still doing that? Man, we stopped doing that in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? We stopped doing that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And some people are afraid to grow up. So they constantly living in their second childhood, man, because being an adult is not always easy. Being an adult is not always fun. The reality of life hits you different when you're an adult. So the second childhood is about that. Now, the Setup is just another great song that's after Affirmative Action. Like I said, some of the songs on It Was Written kind of felt like a theme he was following. But I'm going to go ahead and give this into Stillmatic. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm having it 5-3 Stillmatic right now. 5-3 Stillmatic right now. Let's continue. We have Destroy and Rebuild versus Black Girl Lost. Now look, Destroy and Rebuild, Nas was taking shots at a lot of people. He took shots at Cormega on this joint. He took shots at Nature on here. He took shots at Prodigy on here. I think that this song was probably recorded, and I think he said something about Jay-Z too, or insinuated some Jay-Z stuff on this song as well. Destroy and Rebuild had that Slick Rick vibe to it, which we know Slick Rick is one of Nas' favorite rappers, and of course the storytelling, things of that nature. So he took us on a journey through QB and decided to diss all those cats. You know what I'm saying? Now, that up against Black Girl Lost. Black Girl Lost is a dope song, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a song that I felt was needed. You know what I'm saying? I think that it hit the spot. You know what I'm saying? As far as like telling the story of how some of our young women are fooled by a certain lifestyle of men, and that's still the same to this day. You know what I'm saying? You see all these relationship specialists all over YouTube, but think about Black Girl Lost. You know what I'm saying? It fits when you listen to some of the details within the song. It kind of fit what some of our sisters, sometimes not all our sisters, of course, but what some of our sisters kind of go through. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a dope song. Destroy and Rebuild was a dope song. I think that Nas probably recorded Destroy and Rebuild after Thun and Kinko with Prodigy and Cormega, because I think that song, I think I said on another episode, was about Nas and Jay-Z. And you know what I'm saying? It was Prodigy and Cormega, and they went hard on Thun and Kinko. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what caused Destroy and Rebuild. I'm gonna give Black Girl Lost this song. I mean this round though, because I think Black Girl Lost is a better song. You know what I'm saying? I think the beat is better, and I think the message is better. I just think it's a better song. You know what I'm saying? I'd be interested to see what you guys think about that. So we're at 5-4 right now. Now, number 10, the 10th track on Stillmatic is The Flyers featuring AZ. The Flyers was a third single on the album. Of course, it's always good to hear AZ and Nas together. You heard them obviously on Affirmative Action on It Was Written. Of course, the legendary Life's a Bitch on Illmatic is what gave AZ the chance to shine, and I believe he got his record deal after that, and then his career became what his career became. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely a legendary Brooklyn MC. You know what I'm saying? So you had the Flyers, dope song, good way to introduce AZ back to the mainstream, and that's going to be up against Suspect. Suspect, hard man. Suspect niggas don't come outside. The beat is a banger. You know what I'm saying? I think Suspect is the better song out of the two. Suspect gets more replay value to me in 2022. I just think it's a doper song, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is. Again, Suspect and like the setup and the front of action, all of those really flow well together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give Suspect the edge over the Flyers, even though I do like the Flyers. The Flyers is a dope song. Just can't win that round though. So I have a 5 apiece. You know what I'm saying? 11, Rule, the first single, like I said earlier, from Stillmatic. So we got Rule against Shootouts. You know, I'm a real big Tears for Fears fan. I really love the song Everybody Want to Rule the World. It's one of my favorite 80s songs. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of dope songs that I like anyway. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a pretty cool single. Nas taking the sample from Tears for Fears. But Shootouts is classic Nas Escobar storytelling. That's what it is. Shootouts were on the top 5 songs to me. It was written. Shootouts is one of Nas' dopest stories. You know what I'm saying? You know, another project gem from Nas. You know what I'm saying? Of course, this is a so-called commercial album, but he got Shootouts on here. But anyway, great song. It just beats out Rule. I mean, it just does. So that's 6-5. Now we're going to My Country with Millennium Thug. A lot of people don't like My Country. You know what I'm saying? But I think My Country is a pretty dope song. But it's going up against Live Nigga Rap with Mobb Deep. So it's another Havoc beat. And you got Prodigy on here too. We got 1996 Prodigy on here. You know what I'm saying? Live Nigga Rap. But let me say this real quick. The message, I gave you power, watch them niggas, taking in blood, affirmative action, the setup, Suspects, Shootout, and Live Nigga Rap. Does that sound like a damn commercial album? Somebody please in the comments say, does that sound like a commercial album? You boom bap kids. Just because Lost Professor didn't do all the beats. Trackmasters killed it. Also, I posted Trackmasters' greatest 25 songs or what have you on Twitter a long time ago. You can put it into the dome, put it in Trackmasters, and you can see the list. All those hard Who Shot You by L Cool J, Ill Street Blues by Cool G Rap, etc., etc. It was hard. But anyway, Live Nigga Rap with Mobb Deep, Prime Prodigy against My Country. As much as I love Millennium Thug on the song, much as I love the lyrics on My Country and the message on it, and it followed Rule, which kind of a little, they flowed pretty good. Rule, it's just not going to win that. So we, 7-5. It was written to me. What Goes Around versus If I Rule the World. If I Rule the World has those 80 samples. Lauryn Hill in her prime with the Fugees. It's a great single. One of Nas' biggest songs. It's just a great song, man. What can I say about If I Rule the World? I don't have anything bad to say about it. Go look at the credits of I Rule the World so you can see where it got sampled from. And you tell me if that's commercial or not, or if that's Nas paying homage to the era before him. Amazing song. Dope song. But what goes around, the storytelling on what goes around, the beat, just the way he flowed on it, I'm going to have to give it to What Goes Around. 7-6. It was written. Now we get down to, I have to use the this is going to be tough right here. I have to use It Was Written's bonus track, Silent Murder. It is on the album. Silent Murder is on the tape version of It Was Written. And I don't know why it's not on the CD version, but Silent Murder is an official song on It Was Written. And if you bought the tape back in 1996, Silent Murder was on it. You know what I'm saying? Silent Murder is one of my favorite Nas songs, by the way. I don't know why it was not on the CD. But if you got the cassette, like I said, it was on there. That goes against Every Ghetto. Blitz killed Every Ghetto. Same way I think Blitz did Street Glory on Queensbridge Finest album. Every Ghetto is one of my favorite songs on Stillmatic. Same way Silent Murder is one of my favorite songs on It Was Written. This is very, very tough for me. Lord, this is tough right here. So the good thing about using Silent Murder, because like I said a few minutes ago, the album intro to It Was Written is talking. You know what I'm saying? The album intro to Stillmatic is rhymes. You know what I'm saying? So this makes it 14 songs for both albums that we are comparing and discussing and things of that nature. So right here, I'm going to have Silent Murder as the victory lap for It Was Written. So I have it. It Was Written 8, Stillmatic 6. Someone else could easily have it 8-6 for Stillmatic. Someone else might have gave Destroy and Rebuild Stillmatic. Someone else might have gave I think what the Flyers to Stillmatic over the track on It Was Written. But I have an 8-6 It Was Written. I feel like It Was Written was Nas' second best album. I feel like It Was Written is an amazing album, even though, and I feel like Stillmatic highs are higher in terms of you got one mic. Well, I mean, I don't know if I can even say that because it's one mic better than I Gave You Power. It's one mic better than I don't know if I Rule the World. So which album do you have the higher highs then? So I need to take that back. I don't know. Not really sure. I know that at one point Stillmatic had Graveyard Party on there, and that's one of Nas' worst songs. And they quickly scratched that and reissued Stillmatic without Braveheart Party. I don't know how that song got to go ahead. It is not a good song. I don't, and Smoking is not great either. I would probably take Smoking over. Just looking at the track listings now, is Smoking worse than Nas Is Coming? You know, I don't know. You know, how does What Goes Around match up with some of the other tracks on It Was Written? So like I said, I have 8-6 It Was Written over Stillmatic. I think I told you guys on an early episode that I could match up Life Is Good versus Stillmatic, and I think Life Is Good might get Stillmatic out of here. It might give, because we were looking at track listing and album sequencing makes a difference. Life Is Good, if we take Life Is Good and the bonus tracks, I think Life Is Good can match up against Stillmatic and It Was Written. I know people are like, oh man, come on, man, Life Is Good is not that good. No, go look at the track list and Life Is Good. And then look at the bonus tracks. That's one of the frustrating things about Nas, because Nas often has songs that is not on the actual album that are better than all the songs on the album. You know what I'm saying? And so we know on Life Is Good, for example, A Beautiful Life ended up being on Lost Tapes too. That would have been a perfect ending to Life Is Good, the song A Beautiful Life, as I digress. But looking back at both of these two albums, I do think these are two, when I'm sequencing Nas' discography, you know what I'm saying? I go back and forth. I have Illmatic, then It Was Written, then Stillmatic, and then Life Is Good, and then the Lost Tapes are my 5 favorite Nas projects. Now, if you want to see how you could rank King's Disease 2 versus one of these two albums, that could be interesting because some people hold King's Disease 2 in very, very high esteem. I would probably put it number 6 maybe on my Nas discography after the ones I named a few minutes ago. Now, I don't think it can move either one of these albums, even though it does end very strong. I just couldn't place King Disease 2 over So I wouldn't match them up with neither one of these, but I would match up Life is Good against It Was Written or Stillmatic. I do think that Stillmatic came out at the perfect time after the Jay-Z or during the Jay-Z battle, which I believe that the source was kind of kind with the 5 mics. I would have given Stillmatic 4.5 mics. It Was Written 4.5 mics or 5 mics, either one suffice. I probably wouldn't give Stillmatic 5 mics, but the highs are high when you think about, of course, the intro, Ether, You're the Man, Rewind, One Mic, Second Childhood are very high. Every Ghetto and What Goes Around is very high. I do believe that Smoking and Destroy and Rebuild aren't that great. Rule with A. Marie. It's funny because he did If I Ruled the World with Lauryn Hill. He did Rule with A. Marie. Dope. I love A. Marie anyway. I told you guys before, I felt like A. Marie, when she stopped making a lot of music, I think her manager ended up, or people she worked with ended up working with Beyonce, and I think that Beyonce jacked the style, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's another whole story for another day. Nevertheless, I don't know if it's 5 mics. I do know it's a great album. I don't know if I can give it 5 stars out of 5. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 4.5. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Stillmatic a certified classic to you? Am I off of my 8 to 6? It Was Written beating Stillmatic? You know what I'm saying? Do you think Life is Good? Go look at the track listing. I did do an episode, Life is Good versus Godson, like I said earlier. Do you think Life is Good or Godson can match up with It Was Written or Stillmatic? Man, I guess you look at it, man. People talk about Nas discography, Nas beats. Nas got some heat. You know what I'm saying? We're naming these albums. These quite a few very dope albums. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at some of the albums that are not always greatly received. Might have had 2 or 3 misses on them, but Nas has definitely put together one of the greatest discographies in hip hop history. You know what I'm saying? So, nevertheless, man, this is what I have. What do you guys think? You know what I'm saying? I hope you enjoyed the episode. See you guys in the next few days with episode 18. One love, good people.